Who's that? That.
Right.
Who's that? That.
Right.
Who's that? That.
Right.
Let's just go for it. We are live. We are live. I got a weird little loop going on then, and I couldn't figure out where it was from.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I've been dealing with audio issues all the time today,
Yeah.
trying to get something set up because we have a school that's applied and won, and this is the second school in the second year. So you think I would know what I'm doing, but won the right to host the Willow Awards, which is the Saskatchewan Awards for authors that write for students, right? So in different age groups, and so just trying to get all that sorted has been a little bit of a challenge, but is what it is. So
Yeah, I can imagine. Lots of stuff going on, which is good. Yeah. What is the weather like where you are?
tomorrow it will be plus 30,
Oh wow,
but it's a dry
that's
heat.
that's really good.
It was
Um,
25 out today. Not that I saw anything about outside today. Again, you're stuck when you're the sound guy. You're stuck making sure everything works after everybody goes home. So it's just the way it
yeah,
goes.
I must admit, my local university they've just set up a podcasting studio and a live streaming studio for their journalism students. And so I was in there kind of on a podcast with them the other day, which was quite cool. And it was nice to see us schools set up. And so it's amazing what you can do when you've got literally all the budget in the world.
Yeah, I can think of 1,000 things I would do differently than the current setup, including having a desk that could actually, instead of a desk, it would be more like a table that is electric that could raise so I could stand up.
Yes.
I think that would probably be my first purchase would be that, and then I would deal with the backdrop behind me.
I have a electric desk downstairs in the studio, and I must admit I absolutely love it because depending what stream I'm doing, I can just press. I've got like three presets, so I can press one and it just lowers and raises everything. And because they have the camera mounted on the desk as well, it always means that the lights and the camera are always at the right angle. So, but I will say this: I did used to have a desk behind it as well, and there's nothing worse than when you're in the middle of a stream and you're lowering it down, and then something catches on the back of something else, and then it flips over. Oh, and look at that second camera as well.
Yeah, there we go. Look at that,
Yeah,
just like that. So now it
nice.
did that. It did that automatically, which is not a good thing.
Oh,
The question is, why did it do that? So
oh!
can we can
I
we
thought
can
you
we
meant
just?
for it to do that.
Oh yes, yeah, exactly. I meant to do that. Who said that? Is that Get Smart?
I think so. Yes. Yeah. Cool. So there's lots going on. I tell you what is interesting, and I've not got anything for it, but hopefully we'll have something next week. Is the Canadian Hypnosis Conference? Have you heard anything about this?
Yes, there is a Canadian Hypnosis Conference. It is coming up in, I believe, the end of October. Uh,
Hmm.
and it's still in the early stages of being organized. So once I have a little more detail, we'll definitely bring that forward. But the My understanding is that they are going to be looking, if they haven't started already, they are going to be looking for presenters, and like every conference, and I think Dan captured it best with Michigan. Uh, it is an international conference.
Yeah,
Yes, you're going to have lots of Canadians there, but I suspect we'll see some Irish folks, some English folks,
yeah.
we'll see some
It's
people maybe from Greece, we might see some people from the
yeah.
States.
I mean, do you allow people from the States into Canada now?
Well, we keep a close
Yeah.
eye on them.
Um,
And they only get to come if they leave their guns at the border, but
yeah.
that's not always the case. So
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, it is quite interesting that you do see a lot of the same faces at a lot of the different conferences wherever they are, and so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I think it's nice to see different faces. So yeah,
and different conferences will have a different draw, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
we look at the one that's coming up next year is the Pacific Northwest conference that Anthony Gitch is hosting,
Hmm.
and you know you're going to get a West Coast flavor.
Yeah.
It's going to be more seafood than steak. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
If you come to Saskatchewan, I'm gonna tell you very plainly. Look, there is no ocean for at least two provinces in either direction. Don't order anything seafood unless it's been frozen and flown in. So this just the way that you need to handle it, because otherwise you're gonna wind up with something you probably don't want. So,
Yeah.
but I can tell you that at certain steakhouses they get the oh, you can get the porterhouse or you can get the tomahawk and get it done medium, and you're good to go.
Nice. One of my greatest experiences was going to the first Michigan conference in Gaylord that Dan put on, and for the gala dinner, it was steak with steak. It was a really interesting mix of two meats, which was great. Not great if you're a vegetarian, but yeah, it was good. So me and Jim did kind of take the mick a little bit, how it was a steak with steak dinner.
Yeah, I could go with that. It helps
Yeah, well,
build
I thought it was.
builds
I thought it was
healthy
good on
muscle, right?
purpose. Yeah.
For the carnivores that are on the carnivore diet, it's about as close as you can get to the perfect meal.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. So yes, we mentioned Pacific Northwest. I would like to get to that at some point. It does look like a great one. Obviously, coming up as well is Hypno Thoughts.
Yeah, I just saw that there was another announcement. Scott was on with something, and I didn't get a chance to take a good, close, hard look at the video. But I can say this: with July coming up, there's people that are starting to say, you know what, I'm not going to be able to make it. They're selling their tickets. The tickets are one thing, but make sure you get that hotel room.
Yes.
Because if you don't get that hotel room, you're going to spend a lot of money on Ubers or worse, a car to
I
go to
I
the
like
venue.
to book the room pretty much. I think I'll book the room before the flights and the conference tickets,
Yep.
because then I know that it's sorted, and they only kind of charge you for that first night anyway. Most places, so you don't have to pay for it all up front. But then at least you've got your spot reserved, and then you can deal with it later.
Yeah.
And so
Exactly.
yeah, so most places just charge you for the one night, and then that reserves your spot, and you get the group booking as well. And it means as organisers, they kind of get an idea of numbers as well.
Yeah. And the big thing with hypnothoughts, of course, is that it is the big thing. Sometimes you just have to do the thing. Well, this is the thing to do, because really, there isn't a bigger hypnosis conference in the world than hypnothoughts,
No,
and
I think
you get
yeah,
a
everyone
good
should
cross
do it.
section of everybody.
Yeah, it's the one where everyone's going to be there. And I didn't go to Hypno Thoughts for years, and I was like, oh, is it worth the hype? I took the time out from my kind of summer tour, and then did it. And at that moment, I was like, do you know what? You have to do it. The connections that you make are invaluable.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah, that's exactly it. And I'll go back to, I knew Jim through Hypno Hustle, that Scott King hosts on Sunday nights, and but actually getting to meet him in person at Hypno Thoughts, taking one of his courses, and getting to know Jim,
yeah,
never would have happened had I not gone.
absolutely. Talking about getting to know strange and wonderful people. Uh,
Well, strange, yes.
God, thanks, guys.
You're
there we
welcome.
go. How is Brian?
Back from IV therapy today, and I came home and I thought I died. Just laid down. I'm like, I'm exhausted. And
Yeah.
then I got a phone call from Doc, and he goes, "Hey, your iron level's like really, really low." I'm like, "Well, okay, yeah, we should probably do something about that."
So
But
what's
other than
what's
that,
the IV
all's
therapy?
well.
Is the IV therapy where you get the vitamins put through your blood system?
No, no. Because I'm on the testosterone therapy, that has or the TRT. Um, what that does is it creates excess red blood cells,
Right.
and so that thickens your blood, so it increases, heart attack and stroke and stuff like that. And I'm not ready to go meet Jim in person again, just quite yet. So, or Tom for that matter. Uh, so what they do is it's basically like a blood donation, only instead of donating the blood, they just chuck it out, and then
Oh,
I'll get, just the normal saline, rehydration, and every so often we'll go throw a bag of iron fluid. But yeah, the apparently you don't really need a license to do one of those like little boutique. Oh, look, you can get 11 different herbs and spices, via IV form. You
wow.
just need somebody who's able to do phlebotomy and do the IVs. And I'm like,
Wow.
hey, you can probably make a ton of money, but there's a fair amount of liability there.
Yeah, I think so.
But
Yeah, it's yeah. I know a friend of mine, a girl who used to work in the office. Actually, she went on to be a midwife, and then she started doing the similar things, the vitamin
mhm.
IV things. And she's like, "Oh, you're busy. You're always on the go. You'll run down. If you want one, I'll do it for free." And I'm like, I don't know if I trust that. To be fair.
You're gonna feel amazing.
Mm,
Go do one. The thing about it is it it lasts a few days. It's like a little bit of a pick me up, but it's probably a lot better for you than just constantly throwing caffeine in you. I don't know if they make
wow.
latte
Yeah.
flavored.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If they can put caffeine in the IV, that'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
Whilst you're on as well, it's the wrong image, but it's the right link. Um, and that is Hypnosis Heroes. The latest episode is up. It's in the link to it is in the chat as well. That was
Okay.
with Tony Giorlando.
Yep. Tommy,
Tommy, not
Gi-
Tony.
yeah,
Tommy
Tommy.
Giorlando.
Tommy Girlando. Yeah, it was. He was on not that long ago, actually, and we knew that he was writing his book and it was close to publishing. So we definitely said, when you're ready,
Mhm.
come back and give us an update. And once again, it was a great conversation with Tommy about the scientific approach to hypnosis.
Mm,
As
Yeah.
opposed to the fluff, the myth, um, you know the other stuff that regularly we have to beat back with a broom because it's just not true.
Oh, and did
And
we piss some people off? I guess.
apparently we did. Good. Yeah, when I have found many times that when you have a conversation about truth, uh, whatever whatever somebody's perception of what the truth actually is, when it conflicts with yours, you're just it's oil and water. You're just gonna, like I said, piss people off. And
I guess Tommy was saying it almost sounded like the Christian folks thought that we were completely shitting on their religion, and
no,
it was like, oh my
I
god,
didn't
like,
even I
no,
didn't really even think we really got into it with from a religious perspective. What I would say though, as a person who used to attend, used to be a youth pastor in an evangelical church, that you really do need to take a step back and sort out fact from fiction, and you need to examine. The Bible says, make sure you examine everything that's said to you, all the teachings and so on and so forth. That shouldn't
right,
be an afterthought. But if you don't do that and you go hook, line, and sinker like you did with Bob there when he was reeling you in on his episode there, just some and they, what did he say, yeah, sometimes they give, they buy my meal and they give me their watch, and Brian is just like, where do I sign up for this?
yeah. No, it was interesting because I asked a question and then Bob just went right on in, and I'm kind of like, okay, hey, we're kind of focusing on me, and I'm being a bad host, but I don't want to be rude and just cut him off. But I'm like, oh god, we're venturing into like therapy mode right now that I'm not quite ready for, and I didn't know that. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit, Bob's using the Schwartz on me, and
Well, that's exactly it. The thing about Bob is, if somebody asks a question, he's so honed in on what's the meaning behind that question. And so he'll jump all over stuff like that, which is often why I don't say much around Bob. I love Bob
Yeah.
dearly. He's a great guy, and one of the coolest guys that I know. But and yeah, it just, when you're ready to get into it with Bob on whatever topic it is, he is absolutely phenomenal. But until then, and just watch, because invariably somebody's going to ask him a question.
Yes. Speaking of awesome guys, again, all of those episodes are available. If they follow the link in the comment section as well to the YouTube channel for Hypnosis Heroes, and there's some great episodes there. So yeah, Michigan International Hypnosis Conference. Really looking forward to this one. It's at the Hollywood Casino again in Detroit.
Yeah.
And Dan's just, he keeps sending me pictures of raffle prizes. I'm waiting for him to give away a speedboat and a small car next.
Well, as long as you can get it through the Great Lakes, you're good.
Yeah. I don't think there's anyone that gives away raffle prizes like Dan does. They're absolutely phenomenal. And so I'm really looking forward to this one. And I like that he's got a few really good panels as well. One on ethics in marketing for hypnotists. That's going to be interesting. One on live streaming as well, which is obviously going to be interesting. Again, some stuff on stage. It's a great conference, and one that I do think everyone, especially if you're near that area, should definitely attend.
Yeah. This is the other one that is definitely on my list of conferences that I want to go to.
Yeah.
East Coast, West Coast, and of course still staying in the middle. Unfortunately, they don't line up with the school year, so
yes,
which it won't be a problem in a few years, because that will eventually fall away as the end of a career there becomes the start of a full-time career here. So
absolutely,
that's good.
Speaking of conferences, in fact, before we go to PHS, we'll just a quick mention for obviously Hypno World magazine. Dan does a fantastic job with that. If you don't already subscribe to it, then do click the link, follow it through, and go subscribe. Yep. It's a great magazine, and it means you get to have something in print.
Yeah,
and contribute.
Side this hypnotist or the year 2020.
Okay, was that me or was that Brian?
I don't know.
There we go.
There we go.
Try
You
that
back?
again, Brian.
What's that?
Try that again, because you were either it was me and hearing you brown out, or
Oh no, yeah. Brian, you went all jiggity.
Oh, I said there was some
doing it again.
strange guy that was voted entered of the year 2024 for.
I think he's talking about you, Grant.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
The strange guy that was voted entertainer of the year.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the one. Yes.
But you know, we started off this whole newscast talking about books and you know, in particular children's authors, because that's the live stream that I'm supporting tomorrow is the awards for that.
Nice.
Some of those authors, like Gordon Corman, I'm gonna guess you guys probably know who he is. He's written over 150 books.
Wow.
Like he's
I
had a
don't
pretty
know the
prolific.
name, but
If I showed you a couple of their, do a search for Gordon Corman when we're done, Korman, you'll see some of his books and you'll think, oh yeah, I'm sure I've seen that on a library shelf somewhere. But he, you know, he has written 150 books. Well,
Wow.
those books are going to live on longer than him. I'm sure some of them have actually been pulled off the shelves because they've been worn through because the kids have read them so many times. You know, he's, I don't know, getting close to 80, I would think. 150 books.
That's fantastic.
oh,
There's
wow.
something about putting your thoughts down on paper that, one, helps you clarify them, but two, you're giving something to the world that is in print, that is tangible, that is out there, which is, you know, there's so much more on the hierarchy of authority. I think a book in print is pretty much up there.
Yep. All right.
Yeah. So, a quick mention of PHS. Obviously, speakers' admissions are open. So yeah, if anyone's wanting to speak about the performance side of hypnosis, then please do, you know, get that submission in. The sooner we get it in, the sooner we can get the schedule put together and then put out there. Tickets are available as well, and the group booking for the hotel is now available.
Nice.
So if you click the link in the comment section, that'll take you to the link. Or if you ring it up, if you use the code that is on the screen there, PHSA26C, that gets you the group discount booking. Last year we ran out of rooms, so please do make sure you get them sooner rather than later. So that is on there now.
Very nice. You know,
that's awesome. I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah, and you know, the issue last year, of course, with everything that happened and the way it happened, they were very gracious at extending us a few extra rooms here and there where they could. But yeah, like you definitely want to make sure you get your room as soon as possible because you know when you're. And I think Jim said this best because that particular Hypnothoughts, that was the one where he didn't book his room and he didn't want to share with me. I offered. Guess he didn't want to sleep in the same bed and just, you know, put a pillow between us or something, but whatever. You know, that's Jim.
as long as you guys both face out, you're going to be fine.
That's exactly it.
It's as long as you don't make eye contact.
Well, that's good. That too. The the one thing that he regretted about that particular Hypnothoughts was not booking his room when he should have, and he knew he needed to do it. He just didn't get around to it, and you know, he wound up actually staying at the Gold Coast because it was the kissing cousin to the Orleans, and yeah, he was driving back and forth. He had equipment in my room. I think he had equipment in a couple other people's rooms. You know, for his sessions that he was teaching and so on and so forth. So it does create a little bit of a quandary when you're off site. So we'd like to have everybody there.
It's having the moments where you can just nip back to your room and do some final prep before your presentation. Or if it's been a heavy day and you've got loads of stuff in your head, to be able to just go back to your room and just chill out for half an hour really helps. And then also at the end of the night, when it's like, there's real conversations happening. And then if you got to kind of go, right, I've got to now go and, jump in a cab or go walk for 20 minutes to my other hotel, you're missing out on stuff. So it does make sense to, stay on site. The rooms at Gold Coast and the group discount that we've got are, it's phenomenal.
Great value for money. And
yeah,
it's, you talk about having those real conversations, and the real conversations usually end with, oh shit, it's 2:00 in the morning or almost 3:00 in the morning. We got to be up in a couple hours.
Or if you're Richard Cole, you're just waking up and going for breakfast with everybody.
yes,
yeah. It's like you said, you can bounce up to your room in between classes if you need to, go grab a quick bite of lunch. There's what was it? There's some small store, I forget the name off the top of my head, across the street. There's a Denny's. You're across the street from the Palms. You're next to the Rio. The Rio's kind of cool to walk through, and it's a quick Uber ride, over the freeway to the Strip. You get dropped off right at the Bellagio. You think, oh, we'll just pull over right at the corner. No, you got to go run down into the depths of the hotel. far more than what I had expected, but I think it's a great location. Again, for what we're paying for, everybody is super nice there, and I just can't say enough. I mean, everybody from the people who are taking out the trash to helping set up to the people at the front desk, everybody's just lovely.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of lovely people, I'll let you do this next bit if you want, Brian.
Oh, if you happen to be in Vegas on Sunday, June 1st, there's a noon game for the Las Vegas Aviators. It's a AAA, kind of a minor league baseball team for the Athletics. I don't remember where they moved to. They used to be in Oakland, but now it's elsewhere. Kevin Lapine gets to throw out the first pitch, and if you've seen his social media stuff, I don't think that Kevin played baseball or Little League growing up, so it's going to be interesting. We're definitely going to see some video footage there, which I can't wait to see. And just talking about, Kevin's another guy, just a wonderful contributor to the summit. We'll go see a show. He'll give a speech. He'll question Q&A. He is out there to help anybody who's in the entertainment side of hypnosis succeed, and give him tips and tricks and just general guidance. So incredibly gracious with his time.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it would be remiss to kind of not mention, as we're coming to the end of the show as well, Shawn's put together a lovely video with a little bit of music on there. So if it brings up a copyright strike and disconnects us, do apologise. But again, we've lost another legend to the world of hypnosis.
Actually, before we get into that, I did see a Facebook post by, I think it was Tom's daughter.
Yeah.
I think the crux of it, I was looking to actually find the post, but the crux of it was in lieu of actually having a formal service, because Tom was loved far and wide, appropriately. That the family asked that we share, favorite places. If you heard of where Tom liked to hang out or do things, or you got a special memory, it kind of, from what I understood, it kind of creates a bucket list for the family to go kind of check out different places, or everybody gets a chance in your little individual corner of the world, celebrate Tom's life. and again, another generous man.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, let's just let's pop this in and show this.
Not hearing any sound yet.
I hear the sound.
Really well put together, that Shawn.
I was expecting to hear Jason O'Callaghan start singing. Maybe we can, if he comes out in January next year, that'd be pretty awesome.
Fantastic. Cool. I think that is it from us. Same time next week.
Same bat time, same bat channel. Until then, take care,
Yeah.
stay well, be awesome.
Awesome.
Take care, guys.
See you later.